ask a government, care about, they have not to give me baobab. But if it is canned or tinned with only artificial baobab flavor, and they put made in somewhere, I don't want to mention the place, because you have a ceasefire agreement, instead of drinking this pure baobab juice, you're going to buy that toxic artificial baobab juice. Ah, boy, man. You know, when you last tie a necktie, then the world is in trouble. So, how do we decolonize the mindset? By imposing, like what they do, let us eat what we produce and produce what we eat. Let us respect ourselves first. If a cotton sack is made somewhere, you go for it. Made in the Gambia, which will last longer and is better quality because it's 100% pure cotton, you're not going to buy that because made in the Gambia. If I were to give you a gift today of a shirt made in Italy, you're going to show everybody, you see what the president brought for me? But if I were to give you a shirt made in Ethiopia, I say, President, then made Ethiopia, I'm mine. So we were programmed when they know that we are going to have our independence. Have your independence by name, but culturally, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, you will still be a colony to us. We are still colonial subjects. Now, Grts says something about the Gambia, and BBC or CNN says something contrary to that about the Gambia, and they are in London and the US. You believe what CNN says. Sometimes you say, oh, what about this person? Oh, yes, Kitubabala do they fen. So now, which means, which will have happened? So even whether they are here or not, they have programmed us to look low upon ourselves, have low self-esteem. But a lot of countries have changing that now. This was what I was talking about, what I talked about in Zimbabwe in 1997. That before we think of anything, let us trade amongst ourselves. Talking about the Western markets, Gambia and Zimbabwe cannot trade directly. African commodities have to be bought through third-party Western companies. What we produce in the Gambia has to go to the West, come back to maybe Ghana, and they buy 3 times the price. Why can't we trade amongst ourselves? After all, the industrialization of Europe, what made Europe powerful, apart from colonialism, they industrialized. But when they industrialized, what did they do? They first started trading amongst themselves and stopped killing each other. So also, inter-African trade cannot take place meaningfully if we still have these chronic wars that are going on. Because most of the time we are going to use either sea transport, land transport, or air transport. But in most cases you realize that most of the big African countries are landlocked countries. So you will have to use the land. Now where there is war now in the northern part of West Africa, Mali and others, you have the Tuareg rebellion again. Ethiopia and others cannot. Ethiopia and Eritrea, you'll be crazy to load a truck and say you're going to trade. So first, we must be able to know what we are going to trade in. If it is agricultural, definitely we are not going to trade, produce enough for our local consumption if we are fighting each other. So the most important thing is, 1, let us stop fighting. 2, let us go back to the land or go back to the sea or go back to our forests and let us look inwards and trade amongst ourselves. But everybody wants to preserve your corner because you want, when you go to the West, they tell you, you are the best democracy. Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, that means a dictator too. Yes, yes, he's a troublemaker, he's my whatever. You go and say, look at these monkeys. Now, if you call any one of them a dictator, they will not agree. After, if you listen to their language, anything third world is a regime. Anything Western is a government or an administration. Now, if I steal $500,000. It will be rampant corruption in the Gambia. If they steal $500 million, it is a financial scandal. Do you understand? Intolerant people here in Africa and Asia are terrorist extremists. The right-wing criminal terrorists, neo-Nazis and racists are called the far right. They are not criminalized. They can insult blacks, they can insult any religion and get away with it. And they will not also allow us, our women, to show that they are Muslims. It's unacceptable. But they can tell us to allow men to get married to men. That is not our culture. We are also not going to accept that, because one, is un-African, two, it's un-Islamic, three, is ungodly and is un-Christian. Let them take care of their freedoms, we take care of our freedoms, and I'm very happy that this time around, my colleagues have seen what I've been talking about for the past 17 years.
Your Excellency, another burning issue at the summit.
I didn't see the fire, so how was it burning? You were not there. You said this is the problem. Burning issue, yes.
Was the inability of...
How many houses did it burn down?
Anyway, it was a difficult topic.
Yes.
The fact that African Union couldn't select a chairperson to lead the AU Commission for the next 4 years. What is your take on that?
I talked about it in 2004 or 2003 in Zambia. We have this silly law which was created from outside, because it's only the African Union which has this very intelligent law that says a candidate must have 2/3 majority. Now, and what is even more intelligent is the fact that if you apply to be the chairperson of the African Commission and you are the sole candidate, intelligent people will say you are unopposed, or that you still require 2/3 majority. People have to waste their time to vote. It happens only in the AU. This was put there deliberately to create the type of embarrassing situations, giving our detractors the justification to say we are incapable of managing our affairs, and they are right. If we had changed the law in 2004 in Zambia, we had to vote, I think, 12 times. And then the other candidates withdrew. Because after the third round, the one with if it is two candidates, which is very interesting, if it is two candidates, after the third round, only the one with the highest would go to the fourth round alone. But still, at the fourth round, he or she must have 2/3 majority. I told them in Zambia, it created tension. We spent almost, in fact, about 7 hours, we were arguing about it. Everybody went home very angry. So, just voting for this, then Secretary General it was called, of the AU, took so much time that we could not talk about countries that were in conflict, if you understand what I'm saying. Today, yesterday also, we voted. Now, the 2/3 majority would be 36 votes, just to show you, and then you make your own judgment. By the third round, the South African candidate withdrew because that is what the statutes say. Then we have to bring ballot boxes again to vote for the one who is leading, and he had 32 votes, just 4 votes short of the majority. They say the chairman should cancel the elections, and then the incumbent chairperson would step down, and his deputy would take over. But according to the statutes also that they want to respect,